Present with me is Premier Women's Football Reporter Abresh Meena Said Kadri. Hello,
Hello.
Abresh Meena, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. All good in the hood.
Okay, that was weird, but we'll move on. With us, we also have the mastermind behind the brilliant young women of Sangam FC KKM. Just disclaimer: the three of us are involved in Sangam FC also. But yeah, I would like to bring on football enthusiast, someone who's doing great work in the women's football circuit, and dear friend Anirban Ghosh. Hi, hello Anirban, how are you?
Hi, good.
Good.
And
Good.
and to just add to dissect the words, only the mind, not the master.
Okay, okay. So yeah, let's start off with you, Anirban,
Mm.
because you've been in the circuit. We have seen a lot of hoofball being played, right? We've seen Route One football being played everywhere from the national team to the junior teams throughout. What did you make of the national team's performance in less than a minute? Can you just summarize it up before we get into the detailed
Uh,
analysis?
are we talking about this match or in general?
This match this match only.
Okay. See, football has core two principles: having the ball and moving the ball forward. Now, one can play long pass, short pass, everything. That's absolutely fine. I mean, it's a kind of a strategy which team adopt, but that has to be thought through. If it's kind of a long ball only and without purpose, or short ball only without purpose, then I think there's a serious kind of a gap in the tactical or the game understanding of the whole unit. And from where this hoof ball comes in is that lack of finding solutions in a pressure situation or a game situation is when our kind of instincts to just kick the ball, because when we start playing football, we all have been asked to just kick the ball. And yeah, I think that kinds of comes alive. So be it national team and or in junior or other teams across the country, that's what happens is my assessment majorly. I mean, majorly that's what happens. And in for this match also, when they are being pressed, I think that instinct kind of again became very prominent. That okay, this is I mean, going back to your so-called basics, which are not actually the basics, but yeah, I mean, that's sort of a survival strategy. Okay, clear it for now and we'll see, maybe later. But I think I've read somewhere, I think Pep only mentioned it, that the faster you kind of move the ball or forward, the faster it comes back to you. So that's what happens in general. Yeah.
Okay. Abrishman, now on to you. You've obviously written a very illuminating piece today morning, detailing, right, and you've obviously seen what the potential that girls have. You've seen our own team, right, and how they've played, right. Looking at that as a context, right, do you think that you were overtly impressed with what you saw yesterday?
No, definitely not. I think they could have done better. Like Anirban mentioned, I mean, you did see a lot of times that they were going back to that long ball thing, and it wasn't even working for them. Like sometimes what happens is, okay, like Anirban mentioned, it's a strategy. When you use it like that, it's fine. But when you use it just to put the ball away because you're under pressure, it really doesn't look good. And it for all the talk that Denby has been doing about the fact that he wants the team to play with the ball, and he feels that their strength actually does not lie in long balls, and instead it is in progression, just general progression on the pitch. But it didn't seem like that too much yesterday. We were back to that thing where we use our wingers, they just have the speed, mostly. They just have the speed, so they just try to run straight and just have this thing that, okay, if I cross, maybe someone will get to it. That just that basics. There's not understanding in the sense that, oh, okay, if I make this move at this point in time, my teammate is going to make a move that is relative to that, and then I make a pass according to that. It's not like that. You just run up and put in a cross and hope for somebody to be there and
I
put.
believe
I
in
don't.
local footballing parlance that is referred to as an inshallah ball.
Yeah, so it is like that, and that is how these girls are used to play. And I think again will take a lot of time. I am not sure if everybody would even be able to catch up to it, but it will take a lot of time for them to understand how to really, keep the ball and progress it forward. We have dribblers in the team, but again, just progression is not just about dribbling alone. It is about a lot of combination play, which is something that was not there.
Okay. Right. So, Anirban, we'll just quickly pull up the thread, right, that the girls have collated today,
Okay.
right? And we'll just take a look at it. If you want to, what do you say? Just talk to us about the thread, and because you worked with them on data, so what can we infer from each? We have 4 images. What can we infer from each image, right? Let me just share screen. Okay, and we should, right? Okay, I think we've shared screen, and yeah, Anirban, this is number one. Yeah.
Can be zoomed a bit if I see. Okay, anyways, I mean, it's fine. Uh, so this is the position map area wise. And as you can see with the direction of the arrow, the blue arrow mentions that from the direction from which the progression for India is happening, and the green arrow at the bottom is the direction of progression for Iran. And if you can see the bigger pitch is the whole match, I mean overall, and the breakdown of the first half and second half. What we can infer from first half to second half is obviously there is an increase in the position in the attacking third, very clearly. And but uh, I mean, if you see, I mean, the midfield possession was almost stagnant. I mean, it was 71, 70, which is very good numbers.
Hmm.
But I think why not to push it even higher in second half? If
Yes.
if the goals aren't coming in, and if the opponent is kind of playing a very low block with 9 plus GK, then to drag them out, to stretch them vertically, and to play more passes in the midfield, so that then maybe then the gaps will open up.
Right.
Otherwise, I think what I see is a lot of final third action happening,
Hmm.
and it's just when the goals didn't came, it kind of got a bit frustrating, and it went to the nerves of the players.
Yeah.
So at that time, I didn't see any circulation in the middle third.
Hmm.
And if it had happened, then the position in the middle third would have certainly gone up
Hmm.
from first half. Yeah, that's a major observation what I can.
Right. It also looks like, Anirban, that our attacking third percentage of possession from the first half to second half jumped drastically from
Yes.
45% to 69%. But this is also an indicator that we started the game very poorly. I think the first 20-25 minutes we were outplayed. It's not it's not a stretch to say that we were outplayed in the first 20-25 minutes.
I think we'll have those details in the coming
Yeah. Okay.
data points, maybe.
Right. Right. Let's move on then. This is the next bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on.
So this is like out of all the correct passes,
Hmm.
what percentage of correct passes the team have played in which third,
Hmm.
right? So the red one is the defensive, yellow is the middle, and the green one is the attacking third. And again, like the previous kind of a orientation of the data chart,
Hmm.
here it's like for the overall is a bigger pie, and the first
Hmm.
half and the second half is there. If you actually see again, what happens is that if you look at India,
Hmm.
mm, first half to second half, I think middle third, they, there's a slight, I will say, decrease,
There is. Hmm.
and
Hmm.
that increase has shifted to kind of to the attacking third passing,
Right.
right?
Right.
Uh, and again, I mean that's if you look at first half versus second half, first half India's defensive third passing was also higher,
Hmm.
which happened because, as you're mentioning, Iran pressed high.
Hmm.
And if
Hmm.
you look at Iran's pie
Hmm.
charts of passing,
Hmm.
look at the decrease of first half to second half, the green pie share for
Hmm.
Iran.
It's drastic. I think it's almost 20% drop from 34.4% to 13.3%. Right.
But the
Hmm.
defensive third passing is not that heavily impacted. The pie has been taken away by the middle third. I mean,
Middle. Hmm.
so they
Hmm.
haven't tried to build it out from the back. I mean, they played in their limitations, in their strength, and very aware of their, I'll say, gaps. And
Hmm.
I think they played very smartly, I'll say.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of heart out in the, I mean, the tackles were going in.
Hmm.
Their tackles were not, I mean, very clinical tackles.
Hmm.
Even into the box, there are three very clean tackles.
Yes, the one that denied Dangmei what we thought was a surefire winner, almost.
Even Renu
Hmm.
was
Renu.
about to take a shot, and
Yeah.
there's a very clean tackle.
Hmm.
So they were trying to hold the middle,
Hmm.
kind of nullify the central areas.
Hmm.
And initially, when they had, I mean, fresh legs in the game,
Hmm.
they took the game to India. I think psychologically that was a very big moment or like a phase in the game.
Huh.
And India was, I felt, as some personal opinion, that India was probably not expecting this.
Hmm. And yeah, and I was just going to say that I think India came into the mindset where they would dominate the game, and
Hmm.
when Iran started out of the blocks so quickly, I think India were kind of caught flat-footed. It's not a stretch to say that, right?
I mean, that on the first 25 minutes, I
Hmm.
was not seeing the difference
Hmm.
of a team which was played against Venezuela, Chile, Uzbekistan, or Swedish top division club
Huh.
versus the Iranian team, which is just a kind of assembled and have a camp in one of the islands for like a few weeks.
Yeah, and just to add context to this, Iran attempted to reach 14 national federations, who all denied them because quote unquote Iran were too weak a team, right? So, I mean, if I was to use a Hindi term, जमीन आसमान का फर्क है डिफरेंस में मतलब प्रिपरेशन में right. So yeah, well put.
Uh, I'll say,
And
I'll say, I'll say
hmm,
preparation in the context of the investment
huh.
specifically.
Yes, and it is also to be remembered that Negin Zandi hit the crossbar with a flick in the 13th or 14th minute. Right, there were alarm bells for India initially
Yeah.
on, and just coming to Zandi later, but. What a performance by the 18-year-old celebrating her 18th birthday yesterday, and what a performance. I think that's also contributed to the fact that Iran had a lot less in the attacking third because simply because Anirban, it was just one person at times, but that one person really kept the four Indian defenders on edge.
I'll just kind of slightly,
Huh.
I'll say, tweak that point is that what we call in footballing terms, pinning the defender.
Hmm. Pinning them.
So she was pinning both the center backs throughout the match. I mean, she rarely dropped beyond in her own half. Rarely, if you see, and with Indian fullbacks, there's a different strategy which we can, I mean, talk when we come to it. But it was Asha Lata and it was Manisha Panna. So Asha Lata, even when she was getting the ball, she was pressed not maybe very heavily, and that's a strategy which I felt. And she was playing again a long ball
Hmm.
in the central zone,
Hmm.
although having very decent accuracy,
Hmm.
but central zone was very heavily marked,
Hmm.
and so it was not this kind of a 2v1 at the back
Ha.
always, and
Ha.
India were not very comfortable. Okay, if
Hmm.
she gets past, and given that initial 15 20 to 25 minutes, that span,
Hmm.
it was kind of a psychologically India went to a back foot, I can say.
Ha.
Mm.
Even though you're saying it was a 2v1 at
Mm.
times, but sometimes at times it looked like the one was kind of running circles around the two. I mean,
Mm.
with
Yeah.
no offense to Asalata and Manisha Panna,
Mm.
but Negin was a constant thorn in their side. Even in the second half, I think
Mm.
Asalata had to make a last ditch attempt at keeping her out. I
Yeah.
mean, like she was just a bundle of energy yesterday,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Yeah. So coming to this, like we said, we would come to it later. The passing accuracy by timeline, right,
Yeah.
and by pass wise distribution. What we see here, Anirban, is that I mean, it's something that both you and me believe in philosophy wise. I mean, the horizon, maybe the back passes have eaten into the horizontal and diagonal passes for India.
See, if we look at, I mean, if you look at like attacking third,
Hmm.
right? In attacking third, the highest numbers is of back passes, and it can very well happen if there is like a combination happening, like a wide area overload, and
Hmm.
they're trying to combine and build it up.
Hmm.
But I think it's only happened for a smaller part of the, I'll say, in the second half.
Ha.
My
Correct.
major takeaway from the passing types, if you
Hmm.
look at the mid third,
Hmm.
there's a lot of vertical passing,
Hmm.
huge,
Hmm.
and diagonal passing is probably the second lowest. In fact, it's just very close to horizontal passing. That
Hmm.
means there's a lot of attempt to play that final ball maybe too soon.
Ha. And Anirban, this is also something that we witnessed even at the grassroots level, that final ball merchants are always encouraged. कि I mean, मैं pass कर दूंगी. I will put. It's maybe a cultural thing also that we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, 103 vertical pass attempts in the middle third.
Hmm.
I mean, if you can, if we add rest of the three type of passing, even
Hmm.
if it's just marginally, just kind of overshadowing that. So,
Hmm.
verticality is a very interesting concept,
Hmm.
and it takes precision,
Hmm.
and it takes precision in terms of not only finding the correct teammate, but teammate at the correct space.
Hmm.
I mean, that's where I think it was. Mm,
Hmm.
Maybe we can, I mean, there's a different set of data you need to look at. Then
Hmm.
there's a kind of a passing map on a
Hmm.
pitch, and then you can have further insights into this.
Hmm.
And if you look at Iran again, again, if you see in Iran's case, in comparison,
Hmm.
defensive third, they're trying to kind of playing the most vertical passes in defensive third as well.
Hmm.
And in the middle third, again, they're also trying for the as a long ball, targeting the lone
Hmm.
striker above. It's a
Hmm.
4-4-2, but it is kind of a 4-4-1-1, which was apparently at play.
Hmm.
Uh, so I think if we look at the
Hmm.
passing patterns,
Hmm.
I think India should have kind of played or circulated the ball back a lot more,
Hmm.
especially in the middle third,
Hmm.
since in the second half, especially, and
Hmm.
that would have increased the back pass. If you see,
Hmm.
it's only 14 back passes.
Hmm.
So that means not playing to the goalkeeper or even to the center backs,
Hmm.
and then center back to center back, and then in circulation from one touch line, one flank to the other,
Hmm.
to make the opponent shift their defensive blocks and lines again and again.
Hmm.
What actually India had to face
Hmm.
in Latin America.
Hmm. In Latin America, so just adding to that point, right? So I am particularly reminded of the Chile game.
Yeah,
Uh, Chile were very patient, right? They would what they would do is that they would. I mean, it's a strategy that it's Ali versus four-man. It's called rope a dope. Essentially, they would suck a player in and then boom, hit them wide, and again suck the press in and then again circulate it, right? So Chile did that really well, right?
hmm,
So Chile essentially what they would do is they would pull the Indian pressure in, right? They would pass it out wide, then again invite the pressure, and they would play it out. That's how they would at least play it out. That's how I saw Chile, right? And just adding to this, Anirban, just attacking third. If I looked at it, it seems like after Dangmei Grace came on, the accuracy of passing in the final third kind of improved. Because if you see, especially period 16 to 30, our
yeah,
attacking third accuracy plummeted to 42%.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, there's a point of way to make. And if you look at the most consistent graph, that's middle third.
Hmm.
Uh, it's like, and it's eventually the highest one. So
Yeah.
it's accurate passing in the middle third, or passing was, I'll say,
Hmm.
comparatively much better.
Hmm.
But yeah, attacking third,
Hmm.
there's lack of patience,
Hmm.
and and I think there's also lack of numbers. When we can, maybe if some
Hmm.
of the screenshot we have been able
Hmm.
to capture, then we can
Yes.
see there's
Yes.
a
We
lack
have.
of numbers, which also added to that lack of accuracy.
Ha.
Okay.
We'll come to screenshots in a bit, but like I said, the
Yeah.
passing patterns are very revelatory in number, and like you said, horizontality, verticality, and back passes together,
Mm.
they number 127,
Mm.
and vertical passes alone are 103 in the
Yeah.
middle third, right? So
Yeah.
yes, I mean, like I mean, all three of us have seen this even at the very state level. Final ball merchants, final shoot merchants. I think we encourage individualism to a great extent, and that is what has happened. I'm just also going to just throw it to Abresh Meena here. What does she make of this graph?
This is exactly where Ratan Bala and Anju Tamang were not good. The reason why Anirban is saying that there was not enough circulation in the mid was because they were not doing enough. They were just looking to put the ball to Indu, who was trying to push forward in order to provide support for Manisha in the first half, especially. Even in the second half, it was Indu who pushed forward again, trying to help both Pyari and Grace. So Anju and Ratan Bala actually did not circulate the ball at all, and it was pretty much their fault because they are the holding mids. Because if Hindu is pushing forward, they are the holding mids, so it's their responsibility to circulate the ball better. So when they don't do it, the passing stats come out to be this way. So that is one proper inference in terms of how the players did. If you look at the players individually, this shows which who were the players who kind of faltered, and the same goes for Dalima and Sanju also, because they were responsible for pushing forward and putting the ball ahead, but even they were only looking for vertical passes and weren't going across them. So which is where this stat shows the players that did not circulate enough.
Okay. But Abresh, just two questions for you. Didn't we see the same thing happening against Chile, where we were kind of switched to a five at the back, and it was Dalima's responsibility to essentially, hook it up to the forward line. And it's in a 25-minute span, we had seen that she lost the ball about 15 times. That's one. And just coming to Anju Tamang, I know we've discussed this. Her role was also to maybe give cover to Sanju. So I mean, with all, I mean, having said and agree with your point that she did not circulate it enough. Wasn't her, like, wasn't she caught up most of the time in providing cover to Sanju? Maybe that's why we didn't see a lot of progressive passing from her, because she was playing as that auxiliary left back.
No, actually, if you see, yes, she was there. She was responsible of to help, responsible of helping Sanju. Yes, but she was mostly giving support to Sanju in the sense that she should be providing the option to Sanju that Sanju could pass horizontally or her across to her, and then she can circulate it forward. Because she was so poor, she was not providing Sanju with that option, and Sanju was going vertical. So that was the case. In terms of defensive, yes, she was pushing back a little and covering up that space for Sanju. But in terms of taking the ball forward, she was not providing enough options for Sanju as well. About Dalima, you'd time and again see one thing with her. She just goes for the long balls. She is not the person who you can trust to circulate the ball on ground. She will go for the long ball because she is the free kick specialist, or she goes for those long rangers and everything. So she has that instinct. You cannot trust her to take the ball forward from the ground. She would go for long balls, and there were so many times when she just went for the long balls, and they were caught out by Iran because it was very obvious that she was doing it time and again. And
Mhm.
Iran's
it, it,
again, like
it, it
Anirban
was also
mentioned,
it was also playing to Iran's strengths, right? It was
yes,
also kind of
exactly.
playing to Iran's
Iran were very compact centrally.
Huh.
So if you go for those kind of balls, you're never going to be able to reach the player that you're targeting.
but I
And
but I
Just
believe on one instance she almost found Pyari. I think that was the only one instance that we remember, right?
yeah, yeah. Again, obviously, if you go for long balls, there'd be one or two odd balls that would
Hmm.
reach the player that you're targeting. But it is about the pattern. It is about if you have if it's benefiting you continuously. Because if it doesn't do that, then what is the point of having that sort of strategy? So yeah, I mean, Dalima, I don't think you can
So
ever like. I don't think you can trust her much with circulating on the ground.
okay.
It's
Just
not. It's not her strength.
yeah, just
a brief
Anirban, go
point.
on.
A brief point here to. I mean, when it comes to we're discussing like circulation and the role of fullbacks and the wingers here, briefly. So very specific. If we again, if we decide to see the replay of the match, we'll find that this wide forwards in a 4-3-3 on the far flank. If the ball is progressing through, let's say Sanju's flank, the far flank wide forward was not dropping, and
Sorry,
there was no option
sorry, far flank wide forward. You mean on the right, right?
on the
Sandhya,
right.
you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Sandhya. Yeah. Okay.
Uh, and same or even the fullback. Then Dalima has to then go up and give that far end midfield switch option.
Correct. She has to
And
essentially get into midfield to make up the numbers, right?
it was happening in both ends. There's a, I mean, in a 4-3-3. I mean, we'll maybe we'll talk about it a bit later. But in a 4-3-3, those middle three were shifting all together to maybe like a area of a 5v5 pitch,
Hmm.
and there was no pivot left.
Hmm.
So the pivoting was the holding midfield or pivoting was circulation was not at all happening, and the all the wide forwards, be it Manisha or Sandhya, they were trying to be in like wide areas engaging the Iranian fullbacks.
Hmm.
But whenever they made the run, I mean, either they have been out muscled or it's a very clear kind of a no nonsense clearance from the Iranian team.
Hmm. I just want to add one thing here. I saw it maybe on a couple of occasions from Manisha, and to be honest, it was difficult for her because she was double marked. But I mean, throughout the match, right? I never saw our wingers, not Dangme. I'm not saying talking about Dangme. I'm talking about a starting two wingers make those diagonal runs. Maybe Manisha did it once and she got an header, which was very difficult to execute. But yes, and Anirban, you can also maybe elaborate on this. Sandhya, I never saw her making the diagonal run.
Basically, inverted wingers.
Yes, I didn't see her do that.
There's so inverting as a concept is, I mean, non-existent in Indian football, at least in women's.
Hmm.
We have been at least told to overlap always, but like it's in mathematics, like there's always a opposite end to it. If you can overlap, you can always underlap.
Yes.
So that underlapping runs are something which, I mean, maybe that's completely out of the syllabus which we have in practice.
Okay. Yeah, because we didn't see that from Sandhya at all. We saw it from Dangme because I think there was an urgency to get a goal. But yes, by and large, I agree with you. And the only one time we did see Manisha, make a run inwards is when she had a chance to put a header in. Yes. So yeah.
And also when the wingers invert, the fullbacks have to push really high. And in a 4-3-3, the wide forward and the fullbacks then combine. Not the wingers. I mean, traditional wingers doesn't. I mean, the old school wingers, they used to combine with the wide forwards. In modern football, if you see the patterns, majorly they, as you were mentioning, move inwards, underlaps, and the fullbacks kind of provide the width and the supplies.
Yes.
And when they're really high up the pitch, and even the wide forwards goes into the box, creating a decent kind of a number
numerical advantage.
Numerical superiority, yes.
No, they're not going to superiority kind of, because it will always be like, okay, 5v8, but it will be like 6v9 or 7v9 with both the fullbacks kind of up and just the one center back maybe kind of holding the half line.
Yeah, and I just want to add to it, and yeah, I agree with you because in the modern game, what we see is that when the wide forward essentially comes central, right? He or she takes up a more central role, while the fullbacks push up absolutely high, thus taking up a proxy wingers role. So yeah, I mean I agree with you on that, and we didn't see a lot of that happening, right? Yeah. So yeah, just getting to the final graph before we move into our screenshots. Just quickly take us through this, Anirban.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. I think my video kind of moved away. Anyway, so I mean, this is very rarely used metrics in our country. The PPD is like, I think I used one extra P, sorry, while editing it. Passes per defensive action. And this is calculated in an area, I'll say, almost 60% of the length of the pitch starting from opponent's goal line. So this is more of a pressing metrics, how well a team pressed to get back the possession. So what if we look at the blue line, which is the PPDA for India, that means how many passes did India allowed Iran to play divided by number of defensive actions, which include even interception, tackles, challenges, fouls, everything, to get the ball back. I mean, sometimes they won't, sometimes they will, but their defensive actions is the intent to win the ball back. Look at this graph. I mean, see the first and 15, the initial part 0 to 15. Iran and India are almost level. 6.8 and 7,
Hmm.
which means
Hmm.
Iran was also pressing,
Hmm.
and I mean both were pressing at the same uh,
Hmm.
intensity, and both were equally into the game in terms of getting the ball back.
Hmm.
Uh, higher the graph, I mean, the higher the graph went up, that means you are allowing the opponent to play a lot of passes
Hmm.
and not pressing. So again, when the second half kind of just started, I think Iran slowly went to a place where like they're allowing a lot of passes. The fatigue kind of, I think, crept in, and a lot of substitutions are made. If you see at the match timeline,
Hmm.
Iran substituted two players, four players within a span of almost 13 minutes, roughly,
Hmm.
and that kind of again got them to chase the game,
Hmm.
mm, and like break down India's progression. So as far as this PPDA graph inference goes, is that India should have uh,
Hmm.
I mean, these two lines
Hmm.
shouldn't have touched each other at all.
Hmm. Correct. Because I'll just add context here. Because India's aim was to keep possession, whereas Iran's aim was to cede possession or give possession away. Right?
Second half, yes. First half, no.
Okay. Hmm.
Second half, I think it was also down to the fact that fatigue kicked in for Iran a
Yeah.
lot, and I think at that point their strategy just ended up being that we want to hold on and not let not concede and let India get away with the game completely. I think their strategy switched to that completely because they were very fatigued.
Yeah. I think we'll just quickly move to the screenshots. Right. Yes, I have a set of 10 screenshots. So let me know if you guys can see it. Yes, I think this is the first bit when Iran tried to play the ball in. Abrish, you just want to take us through this? Like Zandi, for example, tries to make the run in between the center backs, and this is the block of four that Anirban we had discussed. Yeah, Anirban, go on.
Yeah, I think so. If you look at this orientation of the Indian defense, the shape was 4-3-3, or I mean, mm, more of a approach that 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, whatever we can say. Look at the back four. It's clearly 4v1 with a very wide Iranian on the flank
Hmm.
of Sanju,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Uh, and I think somewhere 2v1 should be easily be dealt with to
Hmm.
nullify that threat.
Hmm.
And even on a defensive transition, the pressure should be on the person, or I mean, or to mark those I'll say persons on the wide flanks
Hmm.
and get the ball back.
Hmm.
I think they're kind of giving way too much importance, is it maybe in need of a better word, kind of a, they're psychologically on the back foot, having marking only one striker with 3 to 4
Hmm.
three defense.
Hmm.
That's very clear. I think they are losing out on the numbers in the
Hmm.
midfield because of that.
Hmm.
The
Yeah,
back line was not contributing to the midfield.
correct.
And
So can we say it was a 4v3? Yeah, India was numerically underloaded. 4v3.
no, no. This is numerical advantage. It's a 4v3 is fine.
Yeah.
But if you look at this particular situation,
Hmm.
4v3 for an attacking team,
Hmm.
and you can clearly see the Indian team is on a defensive
Hmm.
run, like a recovery run,
Hmm.
body position.
Hmm.
So that's a very good situation in from Iran's perspective,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
If and look at the midfielders,
Hmm.
look at the mid three. The
Hmm.
mid three is, I feel, kind of out of position, very
Hmm.
much. the distance for them to come to a mid block.
Hmm.
If you're playing a 4-3-3, what is the I'll say shape out of position?
Hmm.
That was not clear. Is it a 4-4-2? Is it a 4-5-1? Generally, 4-5-1 is a very natural out of position defensive block shape.
Hmm.
So for 4-5-1 to happen, if in just out of assumption,
Hmm.
I don't see this 4-5-1 happening in a span of even 8 seconds.
Hmm.
Just see the distance between the wide forwards and the
Yes.
middle three.
Yes, there's an awning gap here. Yes,
And
agreed.
any
Yeah,
team, any team who knows, just if you can just go back to that,
yeah.
any team who can actually, I mean, Iran always did this, putting their wingers wide.
Hmm.
It's just that they maybe lacked a little of, I'll say, ball carrying capability
Hmm.
in those wide areas.
Hmm.
Otherwise, if a team is able to switch some long passes,
Hmm.
India will be very heavily caught out of position, like defensive position, and we have seen
Hmm.
this happening even with the back five in Latin
Yes.
America.
Yes, we have. And just to summarize the situation, what happened after this was incidentally Sanju comes up and goes for the header, but she misjudged the header, and Zandi made this blinding run in between the centre backs, and she actually almost latched in to that, right? So yeah, I mean there were warning signs plenty, right? So yeah. I'm just moving to the next one. Abrish, Miller, you just want to take this again. What we see is that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Iranians near the ball, and here Sandhya obviously comes in, tries to get the ball. You have Pyari who's physically battling with what do you say with the Iranian player. And if I'm not wrong, the ball came in from the left. But yeah, I mean, we sometimes sprung crosses, like you said, way too early, right? Because if let's say Pyari makes this run, right, in between the centre backs, and Manisha plays a flat diagonal, a flat cross, right? I mean, chances are higher rather than just pumping in the ball.
Yeah, okay. This is Indu, uh,
Yeah, sorry.
and that's Pyari. So
Right.
again, uh, Indu here is what we see over here is Iran are both. Iran is very central, right?
Hmm.
Again, like something that we've pointed out again and again, that they're very central.
Hmm.
So they in what India failed to do was try and use the wide areas
Correct.
and catch the defenders out. That's the problem. They weren't catching the defenders out. They were doing exactly what the defenders were expecting them to do.
Hmm. Hmm.
uh, Pyari could have made a run in behind the number 19.
Hmm.
That would have provided another option, but Pyari didn't do that. Pyari was way behind. Pyari again didn't anticipate the play.
Hmm.
So she was way behind, and for her to catch up and reach at an advantageous position was not possible in that situation. Before that, Iran would just clear the ball.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, more than Indu making a run maybe in between the center backs because she's marked, and I don't think the Iranians would really let her make that run. I
Hmm.
feel it should be Pyari who should be running in behind the number 19, because even if you see the number 4 also, she's not really looking at Pyari.
Hmm.
Even Manisha is on the blind side, so
Hmm.
even she can try and provide option. So
Hmm.
it actually should have been the responsibility of Manisha and Pyari to make the runs on the blind side and provide that option for Sandhya and Indu.
And the one time we actually saw Pyari making that run in between the fullback and the centre back, Iran almost got caught out, right? I mean, if
Exactly.
it
Yeah.
was early on in the second half, if I'm not.
Yes. See, Pyari has that physicality also. For her to hold her own against the Iranian centre backs. So it
Hmm.
was actually very important for her to be a bit more central and be a bit more in the game and
Hmm.
understand how the game was being played. What I
Hmm.
felt with Pyari was she was
Hmm.
just getting too drawn by the ball.
Hmm.
She
Hmm.
was running uh, she wasn't making better off the ball runs, and she was just running towards the ball. So that doesn't help, because if you're running towards the ball and there is and if there's a chance to get in behind the defenders, you're not going to be making that run, because you're looking at the ball and you're completely drawn towards the ball. So that is
Yes.
something that Pyari would really have to work on.
Right. Okay. We'll just have to quickly move on because I think it's been a fascination, but we've already had a lot of time. So yeah, I'm just going to run through screenshots, and I'm going to just going to keep alternating between the both of you. Um, Again, Anirban, this is us basically building up from the back. Obviously, the camera angle doesn't include the ball. The ball's being played from the left side of it. But yeah, I mean, again, what we notice is a box of four Iranians: one, two, three, four. Right? You just want to quickly take us through this?
Uh, I'll just reiterate that point. Where is the wide option on the non-ball playing flank?
Yeah, that's Sandhya. She's been sucked in.
Yeah. So we are
Uh,
making the pitch smaller
narrow.
in
Narrow.
possession.
Yes. Narrow.
That's I mean that doesn't help to in the principles of the game. As simple as that.
And just also, I'm going to tell you one thing, like, and it's going to amaze both of you. It's, I mean, ideally, this also is a very good option in the middle. But what we did is we tried to essentially we played it along the left hand side, and it's something that Iran again expected. And again, it was 1-2-3 against 1-2-3, and we lost out here. So yeah, I mean, ideally, Anirban, what you're saying is right. Sandhya could have pushed out, and then we could have used this player in the middle. I believe that's Ratan.
Also, I think that's Asha Lata, I think.
Asha, is it? No, I don't know. It's no, this player in the middle. I'm talking about Ashalata is probably the one that is behind the halfway line. I'm
Okay.
talking about this player here. That's
Huh.
Ratan, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So we could have used her, but we didn't. What we did instead is we aimed towards Pyari, right? Where and it's a congested zone. You can see that's a congested zone, and you can see there's one more Iranian player here. The screenshot doesn't capture it, but by the shadow here you can tell that there are two more Iranis here, right? Which the screenshot doesn't show. So yeah, I
I
mean,
think getting dragged to the man, I mean to the opponent.
hmm,
If you can see, Manisha was marked on the left flank, but
yeah. Hmm.
on the center of the park, if you see, I'm not able to identify the
And
player's
this
name.
is Anju
No, no.
with the pink hair. This is Indu, who's
Huh.
also being marked. So Indu and Manisha are being heavily marked. Sandhya is getting marked on purpose.
That's where that's
Ah,
where Pyari, I think that's number 10 is Pyari. So
yes.
Pyari has to then I mean kind of be in on the passing lane and between these two blocks of two, which
Ha,
are like there are actually three blocks of two if you see. I mean not
yes.
may not be intentionally, but it appears like that.
Yes.
But very clearly what we call as playing between the lines. The
Ha,
ball would have easily been played to Indumati,
ha,
and one single pass to Pyari could
ha,
have bypassed four Iranians.
ha, ha.
And
So,
once Pyare receives that pass,
mhm,
the player marking Manisha
hmm,
is a high probability will be dragged to pressing Pyare instead of Manisha
yes.
and to get dismarked. So
Yeah.
Manisha,
Hmm,
barring her own pace or like physicality, there is nothing to dismark. There's no
hmm,
dismarking tactics
hmm,
being
hmm.
put into practice.
Yes. Yes. So, I mean, what you're saying is essentially where the referee is maybe if Pyari
Yeah.
was like 10 steps behind her, that's
Yes.
essentially, and you're right, because the ball is coming in from the left hand side that bypasses the 1, 2, 3, 4, even the ones closest to Anju and Indu and yeah, you're right. You're right. And yeah, I mean, we didn't see enough of that actually. Again, this is something that I noticed. Again, you're seeing Iran with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here, Abresh Mina, you just want to quickly take this?
Yeah, again, over here, if you see, everyone's just drawn towards the ball, right? Nobody
Yeah,
is
everyone's ball
looking.
watching. If you look at the line of sight,
Exactly,
right? Everyone's ball watching
exactly.
here. Yeah.
Exactly. Nobody has that instinct of trying to
Hmm.
gauge the movement of the ball and make a run
Hmm.
according to that and provide options.
Hmm.
Everyone's just ball watching. Everyone's just waiting for something to happen with the ball and then they'll react.
Hmm. Because
So
if I see here, Pyari heads it into the path of Manisha, who makes a blind run past four, right? That's us through on goal.
correct, exactly, exactly. So that is what
Hmm.
even here the onus of
Hmm.
making the run lied with Manisha that she didn't do. She should have
Hmm.
done better. She could have lost the marker. This uh, I'm sorry, I can't see the number, but this Iranian also
Hmm.
does not, like, she's also looking at the ball only. So if Manisha say drops a little and then makes a run in behind her, it'll take time for her to catch up.
Hmm.
So Manisha would provide that option, but
Hmm.
again, that just understanding of the movement of the ball and just basic, not
Hmm.
ball watching, but trying to understand how to go about it, just
Hmm.
lacks a bit. They'll have to
I,
work on it.
Very quickly, one point is that the Iranian goalkeeper was
hmm.
probably the strongest and the tallest on the pitch,
Hmm.
and
Crossing was a bad tactic.
playing
Yeah.
long
Yeah.
balls
Crossing.
or crosses, aerial
Yeah.
the Iranian team.
Yes. It was a poor idea. Yeah. Agree. 100%. Right. Yeah. Again, this is the moment that I was talking about when Pyari finally makes the run, right? Pyari finally makes the run, and she beats number five, obviously. But we didn't see enough of this at all, Anirban.
This is a really good moment, but again, if you
Hmm.
see the why the instinct to play the final ball
Hmm.
so early,
Okay. Okay.
the ball is already being kind of
Hmm.
on its way,
Yeah.
and that instinct, it's if the ball is played, then it's if
Hmm.
we take a line of the ball
Hmm.
ahead of the line of the ball, it's 4v1
Hmm.
or 3v1
Hmm.
plus GK.
Hmm. Hmm.
So maybe why not to isolate and just hold on to the ball? I think patience on the ball,
Hmm.
progress the ball along the flanks maybe, and
Hmm.
then looking for more support to arrive.
Hmm.
There's impatience on the ball, and this ball could have easily been kind of gathered by the goalkeeper because
Hmm.
that's a pattern any opponent can. I mean, if they're observing a bit
Huh.
minutely, they pick up.
Hmm.
So
But
yeah, this
but
was the
won't
moments.
but won't you say that Manisha was aware of Pyari's pace and
Mhm.
she wanted to essentially play it first time, thus trying to surprise the likes of number five and number eight, because Pyari, like what do you say, she did reach the ball. Pyari
Yes,
did reach the ball.
yes, but again, just like the as Vishnu is mentioning, out of numerous long balls, few will
Huh.
get correct.
You
Out of,
will.
I mean, this pass,
Hmm.
uh, it,
Hmm.
from this position, from this part of this from the wide area,
Hmm.
uh, it will travel a much longer distance if
Hmm.
Manisha was a little inside in the half space.
Hmm.
Then that
Hmm.
pass would have made like 10 times more sense
Hmm. Hmm.
because it would have been a much shorter distance for the ball to travel.
Correct, correct. And it would have been more accurate, I suppose, right? So
And
you're
for the goalkeeper to also
hmm,
tougher to judge because
yes,
it's
whether to come out or whether not to come out.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Fine, fair enough. Right. This is us towards the end of the game, and I just wanted to point out how many Iranians are there in the box. There's one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Like at this point of time, again, I mean, I want to say this, that they're all drawn to the ball, Iranis, right? And that's where your number 10 could have made the difference. I mean, not much to say here, Abreshmina, but you just want to quickly take a stab at this. Hello.
It'll pretty much be exactly what we've been talking about. Just here, it doesn't even make sense to go for a direct ball in the middle. it doesn't make sense. There are way too many Iranians in the middle. So why
Hmm.
would you try and bypass so many Iranians with one pass? I mean, it can easily be cleared. So instead, why not use the wings and then try and cut inside or put a cross that would be of more benefit and that would eliminate at least a few of them. Over here, everyone's toward the ball and none of them are eliminated with this ball. So it doesn't really make sense to play this pass.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough. Anirban, we're just coming to the end of screenshots. These are four that you sent. And yeah, you just want to quickly run us through this?
Again, just the
Hmm.
see the number of Indians on the right flank,
Hmm.
and
Seven.
seven,
Seven.
and there is no support even on the center of the pitch. Forget
Yes.
the left flank.
Yes. They are all towards the left, and there's nobody to the right, left of the. What do you say? There's nobody to the right, left of the center circle, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sorry, I can't seem to zoom, but yeah, I mean,
again, this
hmm,
is
hmm,
Manisha trying to dribble through,
hmm,
right? And it's 6v2
hmm,
plus GK.
hmm. Correct.
I mean, the only way,
Hmm,
I mean, it could have been a kind of a so-called Messi kind of a goal.
hmm,
That is the only probability, because a
hmm,
cross from there is very, very unlikely
hmm,
to kind of result in something threatening.
hmm,
Maybe that's where, and we don't see any Indian player even near the referee
hmm,
as a support option,
hmm,
and neither on the far flank
hmm.
where the assistant referee, if you can spot. I'm just
No.
so there is nothing in terms of support play in the
Yeah.
final third.
Yeah. What happened was, and like India tried a quick counter, but what happened was the after the midfield put the ball here, they stopped. They stopped and they did not push forward to give support. And like Anirban said, it was 6v2. It was always going to be a losing battle for Manisha. Yeah. Uh yeah. This again, like Zandi's making a nuisance of herself here. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, see, it's 3v1,
Hmm.
and I think it's almost where the line is breached.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
these are the threats, and when this barring this back three, even the fourth, I mean, I think this is Sanju
Hmm.
who is on the left flank trying to get back. I'm not sure, but
Hmm.
see that this distance. It's like 3v1 or 4v2,
Hmm.
but the support from the middle three
Hmm.
is, I'll say, it's not optimal, or it's not arriving properly.
Hmm.
And it's very easy because Iran was playing long ball.
Hmm.
And when someone want to kind of play long balls, they'll automatically bypass the midline.
Okay.
And the one of the major ways which we have, I mean, I have witnessed, is to stop uh,
Hmm.
people from playing those long balls.
Hmm.
That means pressing the maybe the deep playmaker or the full backs or the defenders
Hmm.
to kind of resist from them from playing
Hmm.
that long ball.
Hmm.
But that kind of a intense energy uh, on the
Hmm.
like front line was missing.
Hmm.
And even on the winning the second balls,
Hmm.
I didn't witnessed much of the intensity in the midfield to
Hmm.
win the second balls back.
Hmm.
And when after even when like gaining the position back, immediate response was, it's kind of a badminton
Hmm. Hmm.
more than
Okay.
a football. I mean, that's what we always
Okay.
kind of come across. And I
Okay.
think what we played,
Yeah.
what maybe we expecting Iran will play that way, we played that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Um. Abreshpina, I think dropped out. Are you in, Abreshpina?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Last screenshot. Avrishman, you just want to quickly take this?
Yeah, okay. So over here, I mean, this is again Iran's pressing. This just like if you see in the center again, there's no real movement of the Indians, and you just see them very static and again very reactive.
And very
The
narrow.
lack of the ability to not really read the play and take
Hmm.
take action first. They were all more reactive, and especially in the first 15 minutes when Iran were pressing so hard.
Hmm. And they're also notoriously narrow. If I was to say one, two, three, four, five, they're almost, I mean, within 20 meters of each other. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that is something that Anirban also has mentioned time and again. That they just have this. Again, they don't use the wide spaces. They all just get
Hmm.
drawn inside and just narrow down the pitch, which obviously enables Iran to keep a block and just defend very ably.
Okay.
And Iran was moving this block, I mean, pretty much with the ball,
Yes.
especially in their own half.
Hmm.
So, and it was easier for them to reclaim the ball because they always had like +2, +3 numerical advantage.
Hmm.
And if this block is, if the ball is on the, say, left flank of India,
Hmm.
on this, it's, centrally, the whole 5 players or 6 players you'll see moving towards the ball. It's kind of a ball oriented, I'll say, scrum, which
Hmm.
Iran was kind of deploying,
Hmm.
and there's a lot of no nonsense clearances.
Huh. And they also deployed it pretty successfully, if I
Yeah.
must say. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yes, we'll just stop screen sharing now. We'll just bring everyone back in. Anirban, we can't.
I think my signal strength is not.
Yes, we seem to have lost you. Yeah. So I mean, it's well over an hour. We'll just get closing comments. It's been a fantastic discussion. Um, we just quickly go to Abresh Mina first. Abresh Mina, you just want to quickly touch upon what changes and what has to be improved in the upcoming days.
Again, combination play for sure. Just try and play more. Play more in the midfield, combine quite a lot of options, and I would genuinely like to see Kamla being used as a substitute. Also, I mean, I don't understand the decision of not putting her in because we needed goals, we needed accuracy, needed that movement in the box, and just some help for Grace up front at that point in time. So I don't understand the decision of not putting Kamla in. He said something about he wanted speed from the substitutes, but again, I mean, it's not like, and if he thinks that Kamla is slow, that's fair, but I don't see why you couldn't have used her along with a Grace who had the speed and the the ability to give passes that would have been that she would have that Kamla would have been able to finish. So I mean, I don't understand that decision, and that's something that I think
Hmm.
he'll have to think through.
So you're essentially saying that Grace and Kamala in for Sandhya and Ratan Bala, perhaps.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Anirban, quickly, same question.
I'll say very specific. mm, if I would have to make changes, have the liberty to change things, hypothetically, the fullbacks, both the fullbacks need to be changed,
Hmm.
and I mean Sanju should be playing on the wings, and Daliba should be playing in the midfield, where that will take some time to kind of uh, figure out,
Hmm.
and because she's slow on the recovery, and the long balls are like now it's almost very very predictable. So fullbacks need to be changed. Maybe with either pacey wing backs or maybe more traditional wing backs who just holds the line. Coming to people starting, yes, Kamla and Grace should start the match, and I think the midfield, especially, we should maybe changing to a preferably 4-4-2 because of its familiarity. Even a 4-2-3-1 would be a very good shape if there are two experienced holding midfielders to kind of marshal the midfield properly. And coming to, I think, Manisha's point is Manisha Kalyan on that left flank is a very obvious strategy now. Maybe either bringing her uh, on the as a lone striker, as a surprise element, maybe, or maybe using her as a full back if we have two pacey fullbacks to kind of play the modern game in a way. Even when 4-4-2, we see the teams who really use 4-4-2 to play very attacking football. So yeah, I think these 3 points very specifically.
Okay, okay. This has been a great session. Thanks so much, guys, for joining us. And it's always a pleasure discussing football, both of you. And just quickly, I just want to mention all of these stats. All of the graphs, all of the charts that you're seeing have been brought to you by some remarkable young women from the community of Sangam Vihar in South Delhi. Please follow them. There's something really special that they're doing. They're very rare to see women of their age doing statistical analysis and pulling out data. So yeah, I mean, definitely all of this discussion is down to them as well. So yeah, I mean, please do feel free to approach either of us, any of three of us, for more information on them. uh, we promise you your mind will be blown. So yeah, thank you, Abreshmina, thank you. Then yes, our producer adds that they are proper footballers. Yes, they are proper ballers. I agree. The coach Anirban might not agree yet, but that's only because he's a hard taskmaster. But yeah, no worries. We agree with you, Nihal. And yeah, thanks for joining us. This is on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Please follow, share, and subscribe to the Away End. We'll be doing this throughout the Asian Cup. We'll be breaking down matches, and I promise you, you'll get to learn as much as we do. Okay, thanks, guys. See
Thanks.
you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you for having